Recruiters on LinkedIn use a recruiter platform. The recruiter platform actually, and they actually use AI to do this as well, which can be a little bit spooky when you think about it. But they're looking for candidates that actually match certain criteria that they're looking for. Okay. The first thing I want to talk about is what shows up on the dashboard. If AI or the recruiter comes across your profile, what is it that they see? And how are you able to maximize that to make sure that they're seeing the information that will lead them to want to offer you at least a job interview? So the first thing that they actually want to see is that you're open to work. So that's over here. You see open to over here. If you don't have that over here, you can put that in. Just to click on this, it's going to say what jobs you're looking for. You want to make sure the job is the actual correct job that the person is going to be searching for. So that's important to get that right. Now, you could actually choose, and you want to choose immediately I'm actively applying because that'll actually show them that you're actively applying. But if you either choose recruiters only or all LinkedIn members. If you choose all LinkedIn members, it actually puts the open to work profile badge around your profile. Some people like that, some people don't. I'm not a big fan of it, but I think the majority of them, of LinkedIn experts, do agree that it's a good idea to actually do that. So you need to be open to work. So whether the open to work actually means that you're open to recruiters only, or if it's open to everybody, they want to see open to work. If they see open to work, then they're actually going to be able to know that you're a person that they could potentially reach out to in terms of their hiring decisions. I'm just going to change this back to recruiters only and save that again to make sure that I don't have an open to work badge because I'm not actually looking for work. Okay, the next thing that they actually look for and have on their dashboard are the top skills listed on your LinkedIn profile. I actually went to a LinkedIn Talent Connect program a couple of months ago. And I asked somebody there who was actually selling their recruiter platform what that meant. And they actually weren't sure, but I actually figured it out afterwards. If you go down to your about section, which used to be called your summary section, you see these top skills here, these 5 here, are the top skills that show up on the dashboard of the recruiter. So you want to make sure that you are including your top 5 skills there. The skills that are most important for somebody looking for a job in your particular area. To show you how to do that, if you click the pencil next to the about section, and you scroll down to the bottom of the About section, as soon as this opens up, it should give you the opportunity to add your skills. You could add up to 5, and 5 is the max, and the 5 is the amount that actually shows up on their platform and their dashboard. So you want to make sure you have those top 5. I generally recommend that you have them in order of importance. You can simply flip. Career services would be more important. If I was looking for a career services job, I would have that one first. And that way the person will see that as the top skills that I specifically have for that particular position. Now, a couple of other things that they're actually looking for. They want to make sure the person that is actually applying for the job follows that particular employer. It's very easy to follow any employer that you want. If I go here to say to PwC, and I go right here, click the following button, and that'll actually get me into the status of following, and it'll actually say, yes, Chaim Shapiro is following your company. Now, one important thing here to note is it actually says how long the person has been following your company. So if you're actually just starting out in your job search, and hopefully it won't last long, but it might, start following all the companies that could potentially be relevant for you, because if it comes down 2 years down the line, you're looking for another job, they'll see that you've been following them for a very, very long period of time as opposed to following them for a shorter period of time. And actually, this is a great example of this right here. You see, I have 51 connections that work at PwC. And that's the other thing that actually shows up on their dashboard. They actually see how many connections you have at their employer. You want to make sure you have at least one. Multiples are probably better, but they want to see that you actually have those connections to the people on their company, on LinkedIn. And that, again, will help make sure that they actually see your profile and decide that this is a person potentially worthy of taking to the next level. So basically having open to work, it's having the top skills dedicated specifically to the skills that they're looking for. You're following the employer for as long as possible, and you're actually connected to people that are working at that particular employer to make sure that the people in recruiter platform are actually going to potentially see your profile and want to take it to the next level. But the other thing is, what is it that they're looking for? Again, keywords are incredibly important throughout LinkedIn. So what you include in your LinkedIn headline, what you include in the full about section, and what you include, especially under your work experience, are all things they're looking for in order to be able to determine if you're that match in the first place. AI or the recruiter is not going to find you until they find those keywords. One other important thing to note here is it's important to add skills, as many as you can, to each job position you've had, because one of the assumptions that recruiters make, so you see here, I've been in this position for 1 year, 11 months. they assume these skills here that I'm listed, I have basically 2 years of experience in that. If I go down over here to this one where I was there 7 years, they assume there's 7+ years of experience utilizing these particular skills. And they might have set their actual search requirements for people that have skills of at least 5+ years or 2+ years or whatever it is. So make sure to maximize that and make sure that you include those skills for each of your particular job experiences so they can actually see how long it is that you've been working in that particular position with those particular skills.